Assalamu alaikum dear students. I hope you all are doing well. This is your tutor Ms. Javeria Mas and I'm back with another video lecture. So our today's topic is expansion in liquid. Students, keep in mind this is one of the very most important topic when it comes to exams point of view. Also it is one of the, again it's a request of my one of a student who asked me to make a video on this so that I can make this lecture easy for her. Okay, now what expansion in liquids are? Beta, keep in mind, students, keep in mind, whenever there is for suppose we are having a flask or etc. If it is tightly kept or tightly packed, if we are heating it, it will definitely expand. Why it is so? Because let's take an example that there is a flask or a jar that is on that has been put and is heating continuously, and the jar is filled with liquid, some liquid, doesn't matter here, doesn't matter, with liquid, filled with liquid. Okay, and it is tightly kept. Okay ji. Now what we are going to do there, whenever the temperature increases by liquid in glass, the thermal expansion occurs in liquid. Like, we are providing heat from here continuously. That is why the molecules that are present inside the liquid, or that are basically making the liquid, start vibrating at higher amplitude. For suppose, before heating they are vibrating at this amplitude, but after heating they start vibrating at this much amplitude and start colliding with each other like this. Whenever the amplitude increases, they start colliding with each other. And keep in mind, as soon as the amplitude increases, collision increases, and when collision increases, the kinetic energy of molecules increases. Sorry. Hence, temperature of body increases. Let me repeat myself. How your body starts getting heated when we provide heat it from outside. Keep in mind, the science behind the heating, this is the science of why temperature increases. Okay ji. So whenever we provide heat, the molecules of the liquid start vibrating at higher amplitude and the collision increases. Hence, the kinetic energy of molecules increases. Thus, as a result, the temperature of body increases. Keep in mind, whenever the kinetic energy increases, the temperature increases simultaneously, as kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature of the body or temperature of molecules. So, this is the basic science why the body why the temperature of any body increases when we provide it heat. Now, keep in mind there are two types of expansion that has been associated with liquid. The first one is real expansion, and the second one is apparent expansion. So, students, the difference between both of them is that the real expansion basically occurs when the volume of liquid increases, and it is called basically the real expansion. As soon as the volume of the liquid increases, the temperature of the liquid increases, hence occurs as a real expansion. And this expansion does not depend on the expansion of the container. Okay, and when it comes to apparent expansion, an apparent expansion basically occurs when the volume of liquid occurs due to rise of temperature, and it depends on the expansion of liquid. Sorry, expansion of container. So both of them occurs due to increase in temperature, but the real expansion does not depend on expansion of container, while it does depend on expansion of container. Okay, ji. So I hope it is very much clear to you all. Now we are taking an example of this figure. Now I'm again coming back on this figure. I hope it is visible to you all. Let's say that the apparent volume is denoted by VAPP. That is basically the subtraction of the expansion of liquid minus the expansion, or sorry, a volume of liquid minus the volume of container. How it is so? When a liquid is taken in a container and is heated, both the liquid and container expands. Why? As I told you, whenever we heat something, the molecules of that body start vibrating at higher amplitude. Hence, the expansion takes place and hence the temperature increases. That is why whenever we heat something, the first of all, before the heat goes towards this liquid, it does goes to this container. Hence, first of all, the expansion occurs over here, over on the container, then the heat goes inside the liquid and expansion occurs in liquid. But when we talk about real expansion, we only talk about the liquid that is filled inside. And when we talk about apparent expansion, it does depend on container as well. Like for example, when I talk about apparent expansion, we first talk about how does the container expansion does occur, and then we talk about the expansion of liquid. Okay, or we can write this expression as VL is equal to V apparent plus V container. Volume of container, apparent volume, volume of liquid. Hence, this is your real expansion of liquid, because here we only talk about when it comes to volume of liquid, we are just dealing with real expansion. But whenever we talk about the volume of container as well as volume of liquid, we talk about the apparent expansion. Hence, the summary of the lecture is that whenever we just talk about the expansion of liquid, we are talking about the real expansion, and it does not depend on the container expansion of container in which it is filled. But when we talk about apparent expansion, we talk about the expansion of container as well as the liquid that is filled inside it. And the science behind the liquid expansion or expansion of any body is that whenever we provide heat, the molecules of the body, either liquid solid, start vibrating at higher amplitude. That is why the collision increases, hence the kinetic energy of the body increases, the temperature increases, hence the body expands as the amplitude of the body is greater now. Okay, I hope this lecture is helpful and clear to you all. If you have any query regarding this lecture, you can do ask me in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Allah Hafiz till the next video.